Okay, so we're with our first interview here on the morning cruise. We're super lucky to have Mbuyiseli Ka Boqwana, which is one of the hosts of the important event from the Khayelitsha Heritage Council, which has been established to honor and preserve the rich local history of Khayelitsha and to celebrate the lives of heroes and heroines who have played a significant role in the liberation struggle and upliftment of the community. This coming Sunday, the council is hosting the Mzukisi Meyane Memorial Lecture, an event aimed at commemorating the legacy of Mzukisi Meyane, a respected figure in the fight for justice and social change. The lecture seeks to reflect on his contributions and inspire a new generation of community leaders and activists. So, welcome, Mbu.
Good morning, and your listenership.
Yeah, so can you just tell us a little bit briefly about the Khayelitsha Heritage Council and why it was formed? Like, what's the story behind it?
Well, the community activist in Khayelitsha, I think it was during 2018 and 2020, they organized an event which was celebrating Freedom Day and Freedom Month. And out of those activities, then those community activists decided to develop an idea where that they can formalize the commemoration of heroes and heroines that have been actively involved in Khayelitsha community and also nearby communities. So then this year, last month, they decided to formally establish and register this council, Khayelitsha Heritage Council, as a non-profit organization. And they consulted widely in terms of community structures, organizations, and also families, relatives of those that have fallen during the course of struggle. And I think that comes as from 1980s up until today. So that council has established to run such heritage-related programs.
Okay, hi Mbu, this is Camille. Can you tell me who was Mzukisi Meyane and why it is so important to honor his legacy through this memorial lecture?
Well, Mzukisi Meyane was a formidable activist who was so politically accurate on issues of politics and theories of revolution. He was a young, organic intelligentsia of the time. What we've been told, Mzukisi Meyane didn't go far as formal education or university or colleges or post high school level. But he was so articulative, and as a result, if I can remember, during those days, there were a lot of students amongst us because we were young, and some of us were studying at University of Western Cape, UCT, Stellenbosch, and but they heavily relied on the debates and contribution that Mzukisi Meyane have been articulating during the time. So I can say that he was an organic intellectual and he was a youth activist, which he started his activism in the Eastern Cape, in the areas of East London, and I think as well he has been influenced because he worked along the trade of slaves, during the uprisings in the country. So he was at least spent time with those heroes in trade. And then he came to Khayelitsha, and I think he resided in Guguletu, and then later he went to Khayelitsha. And when he was in Khayelitsha, he was among those leaders of the time, and he has very good and constructive influence politically, in that space. So, and I know as well that he started as well, I think at once he was a national organizer of COSAS. So he is a man that was amongst ourselves, and he was a man that was sharp in terms of political theory and so on and so on.
You're still tuning in on 89.5 FM, the mouth of community radio station in Africa. If you have just joined us now on the line, we are joined by Mbuyiseli Ka Boqwana. It's Boqwana, by the way.
I can't do it.
Ryan. And also we'll be speaking to us regarding the lecture or memorial lecture of Mzukisi Meyane. As you know, that South Africa, we have rich history, especially in our communities in the Cape Flats, where a lot of people have been focusing in almost a lot of things that have been happening within our communities. This month is an important month, by the way, Kemi and Ryan, because we're also celebrating on the 27th of April, right? Freedom Day. And also that's where they will be having a lecture. So, Mbu, I want to know what can the public expect from the lecture on the April the 27th?
Well, it is going to be an event of its own kind, a very unique event that we have never had an opportunity to engage, with those that have been active in the time. And above all, what we have been doing up until now was to communicate, consult the families of those individuals, because Mzukisi Meyane is not commemorated alone. He has been chosen to represent the list of activists who died, and some of them, if I can mention one, Ulendo Comrade, Masuku, who was identified as the first victim. Because if you remember our local history, the Cape Town history is that people were moved from Gugule to Nyanga to recycle in Khayelitsha. Khayelitsha then was a forest. And then they were moved, and they felt during that time that they are moving far from the places of work like Cape Town and CBD. And they have resisted that idea of the old National Party to relocate them to settle far from town, from Ikapa. So then there was a historic campaign which was called Asiyi Khayelitsha, which was resisting the plan to build houses for our people in Khayelitsha from far, even from Nyanga area. So I'm saying that in those first years, then people relocated. Some were forced, some relocated. And what happened was that they've turned Khayelitsha as a site of struggle. So they continue with the struggles that were waged against the underdevelopment, against apartheid policies. And so then Khayelitsha became more, in the struggle against apartheid. So there was a first person who was shot and killed in Khayelitsha, which is Mzukisi, and which was the first victim in actual fact, So I'm saying that we have a list of 30 activists, some that have become victims of apartheid violence, and some, yes, of course, were actively involved, and they were leaders, and some of them, they were unfortunately victims of crime. They were stabbed, they were killed, and then some are activists that normally just died, natural death. So there's a list of 30 people that are celebrated under the name of Mzukisi Meyane. So it is not Mzukisi Meyane alone, but he is an embodiment of those individuals. So what I'm trying to say is that we've been engaging families of those relatives. And what we have learned is that I think there's much that must be done in commemorating and also in finding out that where are those families and what are they doing now. Some, for instance, you'll find children which were young during that time when they lost their parents. And they've been emotionally disturbed because those parents were involved in the struggle, but they have never traced or followed anything that talks about them, you know. So that's the reason that we reach a point where we say that a community that does not honor its activists, no, it's like a community that does not have history. So that's the reason that we decided and then therefore to commemorate and celebrate the lives of those comrades, you know, and starting from that history, and then starting from the 27th, and then we will mean that at least we commemorate, we engage families, you know, we engage parents and we engage their children, and just make sure that at least we can remember with them the lives and the times of those comrades and those heroes and heroines.
And so about the event itself, could you tell us some more about, are there any notable speakers or performances that are planned for the day?
Well, in terms of the program, as I said, that we've identified the needs, particularly when we engage with families. We then decided that let's engage. There's an organization that is doing good work, in particularly for those icons that have died in the struggle, or some of them, they are victims of the apartheid violence. That organization is an institute for healing of memories. So Father Lepsi will be part of the program and will share his experiences during that time. For instance, I think he was based in Zimbabwe, and he received on the same year when the Father Mandela was released. He became a victim of a letter bomb in actual fact, which was sponsored by the apartheid violence, and unfortunately lost his both arms and also the eye. So he will then be sharing with those families, you know, the experiences that he has. And as well, there's a notable person that he has worked closely with, Mzukisi Meyane, the former Deputy Minister of Rural Development, Mzukisi Squatter, he will be delivering that lecture on the day. And there are a number of other speakers from various organizations and groupings, you know, women, youth, that would be as well sharing the messages of support, you know. Most of the people are people that have worked with Mzukisi Meyane, and they have worked with a lot of heroes that will be celebrated on that day. So that will be the program. It will definitely include cultural items, you know, because as we commemorate, but at the same time we celebrate the lives of those, you know, with their families and with the community of Khayelitsha at large. As I indicated as well, that we are expecting also neighboring communities, you know, to make sure that at least they are part of that event.
That's amazing to hear, Mbu. How can community members attend or participate in the event?
Well, though the event is a closed event, you know, but we have invited a number of people. So what we have done as well, we will have a live streaming, you know, through Facebook, which will direct people, particularly families that have relocated to Eastern Cape and other parts of the country, so that they can join us through the streaming of the event. And even some that might as well be interested to, we will drive them, you know, at least to be able to watch the program through the Facebook streaming. But those that also are interested, those that have been invited, and those that will have an interest, we are holding this event in a historic site and a school, which last year, the class of 2024, we have received the highest percentage Joe Slovo Engineering School, which in the past also was used in other schools as a site of struggle, because it's where that the students in Khayelitsha have waged those battles, have joined the battle against apartheid laws. So it is for us a historic site on its own, the school. But we will hold the event on its hall. There's a new hall there, Joe Slovo Engineering School. So people will definitely then be advised to be there at 1 o'clock. However, we have a prior event activity. Will be cleaning the graves of those that were buried in Khayelitsha in Gugulethu. So we'll start at 8:30, and we'll meet at Joe Slovo, and we'll proceed to, one group will go to Gugulethu, NY5 cemetery, the other one would go to Khayelitsha cemetery to clean the graves of those heroes that have been identified for this first phase. This is the first phase of this project, and the second phase will be in September, and it will then include a long list of those heroes. If you've seen the list that we have young people of that time, but we didn't yet talk about the fathers of Khayelitsha. Michael Mapongwane was killed during the taxi violence, and his wife. We didn't talk about Solomon Chuku, who was a victim of the undemocratic elected councillors in Site C. We will be celebrating them later this year. But now we're celebrating these young ones that I can identify them as the generation of Peter Mokaba, because they've been involved in the struggle and during that period of time. The mid-80s, 90s, and even some during 2020. So it will be in Joe Slovo Engineering School in Khayelitsha.
Still tuning in on 89.5 FM, the mother of community radio station in Africa. On the line, we are joined by Mbuyiseli Ka Boqwana. Today, it's a Tuesday. It feels like Monday, though. But yeah, we're still surviving. And also, they will be having Mzukisi Meyane Memorial Lecture will be held on the 27th of this month. So, in your view, Mbu, what lessons from Mzukisi Meyane's life are the most relevant to today's youth?
Well, as the project will be focusing to schools, to young people in particular, is that Mzukisi Meyane, during his youthful years, he has contributed positively to create an environment where the youth of today can be free, can go, can study, and do everything that they want to do that can better their lives, their skills. Mzukisi Meyane has been instrumental in the youth struggles that have been waged during that time, which was informed by the demands of the people. When people in 1955, they demanded that schools must be open to all and the education must be free. When the demands of the people then demanded a peaceful environment, when people demanded land, when people demanded houses and comfort. So I'm saying that I think drawing lessons from those demands and drawing lessons from what Mzukisi was. As I said, Mzukisi was an organic intellectual, though that he didn't done much in terms of going to honors degrees, but he has been an organic one. He assisted a number of activists during his time who were studying in these universities. He has assisted a lot of people, to ensure that at least they access education during those difficult times. And which it means clearly that the youth of today, if they follow the footsteps of Mzukisi Meyane, would not be found being in conflict with the law, would not be found being harassing communities, demanding protection fees. If they follow the steps of Mzukisi Meyane, you will have people that are assisting the development of this community. We will have people that at least will be assisting constructively in ensuring that Khayelitsha is a peaceful township that is gearing to be a suburb of its own. And all of those things can only happen if young people of today are involved in constructive activities to ensure that at least we assist government, we assist business, we assist everyone to ensure that we create jobs in our own area. We ensure that we protect the infrastructure that has been put in place. We support hospitals that have been built. We support railway lines that have been refurbished. We support every development infrastructure that has been put in Khayelitsha, and act against those that see targets to damage. So I'm saying that the young people of today and any leader that is involved today, whether it's a councillor, whether it is a company or a business owner, is to ensure that it supports Khayelitsha to develop further and to take stock of, at once Khayelitsha was declared as a presidential node with an attempt to ensure that it develops. So we need young people and we need residents that jealously will defend the infrastructure in Khayelitsha and will be involved in income-generating projects. So that at least we have a better Khayelitsha.
Mbu, thank you very much. Unfortunately, we have to love and leave you. I know that Mzukisi Meyane's, legacy or life has been there. Obviously, he's not the only one who's been in the struggle for everybody to make sure that we celebrate the freedom that we have. Quickly, last thing, what would contact details before we say goodbye?
Well, for those that want to RSVP or those that want to get more information so that they can be involved or they can attend, I would suggest that they communicate with a person who's organizing the activities and also the responsible for invitation. And that would be Nosripo Mahlanyana.
Okay.
His number, if you still have time, his mobile number is 068 110 4436.
Boo, thank you very much for having time to speak to us.
Thank you so much. Push Radio.
Okay, bye-bye.